Welcome to another edition of the Will Be Blood Fight Show. I'm your host, Dave, doing this. Before I get into the whole aftermath of Oscar De La Hoya versus Manny Pacquiao, I want to first state that Filipino people, I grew up in the Bay Area and stuff, so I grew up among a lot of Filipinos and stuff, and gotta say it's a very beautiful culture, very beautiful people, humble, hardworking, class people, people that have a lot of class. Now the punk kids that are jumping on everybody's website and stuff that made a prediction before and after, and all they do is talk a lot of smack because they don't really know anything about boxing. All I gotta say to you guys is that none of you punks were making vids and making predictions. You weren't backing up Manny at all. Okay, all you're doing was just trying to really honestly disgracing yourself and stuff. Not disgracing the race, disgracing yourself, because like I said, I know a lot of Filipinos. Thank you for the Filipinos that email me, and that I've always supported this show, and understand that this is not about race, man. These are about two fighters, okay? Oscar De La Hoya just happens to be Mexican, and Manny Pacquiao happens to be Filipino, okay? Has nothing to do with this race is superior than this race. That's just plain ignorance, first off, okay? I have never once, has that came out of my mouth, has never once, you never heard me once disrespect Filipino people. Never once you heard me disrespect Manny Pacquiao. I've respected each individual fighter for who they are, not because of what country they come from, okay? So, I've got a couple of hate mails saying you're going to come down and do this to me and do that to me, or that, Mexican people or have no heart and this and that. Well, you know what, man? I can tell you where I'm at. Just email me. Let's see how much heart you have. I'll tell you where I'm at. I never pass from a good fight. Trust me, okay? The people that know me personally know me, that I don't pass up on something like that, So making threats over the computer and telling me stuff over the computer, hey, why? Why do all that? If you feel that confident, come down to Modesto, California. I'll pay for your ticket, okay? And then you can tell me the exact same thing on the computer to my face, right? And then you'll find out as an individual who's got heart. All right, so now let's get into the whole Manny Pacquiao versus Oscar De La Hoya. Okay, first, we cannot make any excuses for Oscar De La Hoya, because I hate when people do that, all right? Oscar got old overnight. No, when anytime a man signs a contract saying that they're going to step into the ring with somebody, it's a fair fight, first off, okay? I had said that, Manny would have to fight the perfect fight. And that's a very hard obstacle to do, because you have never seen Manny fight a perfect fight yet, right? Manny has the tendency of, brawling and stuff. But you know what? He fought the perfect fight. Okay, he proved that he can do the changeover just like the way Marco Antonio Barrera did, was do the change around and become a boxer. Okay, he had great lateral movement, footwork, really never allowed Oscar never in one point in the fight that, to get into this fight, okay? It was a complete shutout. Made Oscar retire on the 8th round, and really it was a reminiscence of when Oscar faced Julio Cesar Chavez. It was like a passing of the torch, and that's pretty much how it went. It couldn't have went to a much more humbler guy like Manny Pacquiao. I had the privilege of meeting him. I had the privilege of watching him spar. Some folks had emailed me before this fight happened and said, hey, Dave, by any way that it influenced maybe changing your prediction? And I said, no. The reason is because of this, okay? Watching Manny spar and watching them fight, in the actual match are two different things. Two is that how truthful would I have been? You know what I'm saying? It would have been like, oh, the only reason why now you're changing your pick is because you met Manny Pacquiao. See, and I don't try not to allow those type of things to influence me. I try to just analyze the fight the best that I can, and the way a lot of fans have tried to analyze the fight. And remember this: it was just not Mexican people that were saying that it was a mismatch or this and this and that. I never said it was a mismatch. I said that there was a slight chance of it not being, okay? If you remember the first vid I had posted, okay? Now, Manny proved why he's pound for pound. This is the reason why he's considered pound for pound, okay? Looked great at 142. When I had seen him, he was 143. Now, if you watch the second round, you would see that Oscar De La Hoya's legs were really never underneath him, starting from that first round. But the second round, you could really have the talent on that, is when he would throw his flurries, that leading foot would always buckle for some reason. two, he got rocked. I think it was in the 5th round. He got rocked pretty bad. You seen him fall into the ropes and stuff, and then he just started laying there. Okay, his speed was kind of, I wouldn't say it disappeared or anything, because he did have some speed. When he did throw those punches, the only problem, they were landing nothing but air, because Manny had such good head lateral movement. You know, every time he did back up on those ropes, boom, Manny would spin out. Now, you know, the whole fight really is that, you know, when you're sitting there, you're like, okay, how much, you know, is Manny going to allow himself to draw back into this fight and try to, you know, sit there and toe-to-toe? And for a couple seconds, he did, but he was always getting the better up of it, okay? So, you know, I really honestly thought that maybe the 9th or the 10th round that he was gonna knock out Oscar De La Hoya and stuff, but they stopped it. I think it was the best decision that Nacho Bernstein did for Oscar De La Hoya, and it really shows you that, you know, Nacho Bernstein was like, you know what, there is no way of defeating Manny in this bout. Unfortunately, right, that it was just Oscar's end of day on this fight. Now, whether or not Oscar's gonna retire, I doubt it. I don't think he will. I think if anything, he doesn't want to leave on this note, so he's gonna go after somebody else that's not a big name. No Miguel Cotto, no Antonio Margarito. He's gonna go after somebody else that he could for sure have a win on before leaving the sport. Now, where does that leave Manny Pacquiao? Okay, well, when I went down and interviewed Freddie Roach about the whole situation of this bout, he said that they're probably going to go at 140 and go after, you know, Ricky Hatton. Now, that's a completely different match. You know, we can't really say that, you know, Manny Pacquiao is going to be able to do the exact same thing to Hatton, just because the fact that Hatton is really not out of his prime, and, you know, Hatton is not a slow fighter and stuff. But is it going to be a major interesting fight? Of course it is. I think anytime Manny steps into the ring, it's always an interesting fight, now that he has proven the odds. Now, remember this, okay? You know, a lot of commenters like, oh, you know, my prediction was wrong. Yeah, you know, how many people's prediction was wrong on this fight? And how many Filipino people that were wrong about this fight, too? Okay, so it just wasn't not just Mexican people or whatnot. Okay, there was a lot of Mexicans too that were rooting for Manny Pacquiao, and there was a lot of, you know, Caucasians and blacks and whatnot. A lot of people were rooting for Manny. Okay, so, you know, don't sit there and act like you knew all along, because if you did, you know what, you would have posted a video and had your prediction up and allowed everybody to comment and argue with you. But unfortunately, you know, you got that yellow streak, so you don't do those type of things, right? So anyways, so let's go back. Where does Manny go from here? Well, you know what? I hope Mayweather comes back, and now we have the chance of proving who is the best pound for pound, you know, at 147 or at a catch weight at 140, you know. But I don't think the catch weight really have to come and play in this fight, because of the fact that you know that Manny Pacquiao can make that weight. To me, that would be the biggest fight, okay, for our era, honestly, to have one of the best of all times right now, Manny Pacquiao, facing one of the best of all times right now for ourselves too, you know, Floyd Pretty Boy Money Mayweather. To me, it's speed versus each other, and prime versus each other. And really, how well would Mayweather handle Manny Pacquiao, and how well would Manny handle Mayweather? That's going to be an interesting fight. No longer can you say anything's a mismatch for Manny Pacquiao. He's already proven those odds, okay? Or I'd love to see Manny go against Miguel Cotto. Why leave 147? When I go back, you know, to Wildcard Gym, you know, and hopefully get the interview again with Freddie Roach and stuff, those are some questions that I'm going to ask. You know, I'd love to see Manny face Miguel Cotto along with Ricky Hatton, but Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather, why not make that fight happen? Anyways, I'm your host, Dave Duenas, and this was another edition of the Will Be Blood Fight Show. And like I said, you know, you want to hate and throw some more hate mail at me, I'll be more than happy to tell you the gym that where I'm at. And if you want, I'll pay for your ticket to come on down and stuff, and then we can talk.